Doing good, people. This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about something that is a part of a major fandom. Actually, it celebrates a major anniversary in said major fandom. And it's from 1992, but
these are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
It feels like it's older than that. Mainly because some of the gameplay elements just seem cumbersome. Today's game is from Konami. It was published under their Ultra Games label. And it was developed by Interplay, which is kind of interesting considering that Konami tended to develop their own stuff. Today's game is Star Trek 25th Anniversary. Okay. Now this game captures a lot of the feelings of the original Star Trek series, where in that, you go onto planets with an away team, things like that, and some of the instances of interaction with the crew on the bridge of the Enterprise. It feels pretty authentic to the TV show. The game opens with the Enterprise being caught in a space-time rift, taken to an unknown planet, and their supply of dilithium crystals being depleted. They have to go to this planet to secure a supply of dilithium crystals in order to power the warp drive to get out of there and get back on course. From there, it takes place. It takes you through different episodes and different points in the Star Trek timeline. Most notably, an episode entitled "A Piece of the Action," where the crew of the Enterprise is taken back to 1920s Earth. The gameplay in this game is, I guess it's okay. The movement, especially in the planet, when you're planet side, in some of these levels, you could call them. For instance, one interesting thing that happens is that when you acquire an item, there's a process that you have to go through. First, you have to scan the item. Then there's a conversation that's had between Captain Kirk and members of his away team before they'll decide to pick up said item. This tends to draw out gameplay. It doesn't feel as natural as just walking over an item. This would be useful. Should we pick it up? Rather, you have to scan literally every little thing that you pick up in this game. It can probably be kind of dull and repetitive after a while. Another thing that's kind of annoying about this game is that the characters, for whatever reason, they can't walk in diagonals. They walk in straight lines. So if there's an item in a particular direction that you can't walk, you have to go around it basically to get to it. And this can make things kind of annoying as far as disabling some enemy characters, like the spitting plants in the first area you come across. It's not that difficult a thing to deal with. I mean, it's something you can work around, especially if you're used to older games where you couldn't move diagonally. You had to move in straight. You had to move up, down, left, or right. You couldn't move diagonally. But it can be annoying, and that's something that happens a lot in this game. There are a series of little annoyances that kind of pile up. But for what it's worth, Interplay did a fairly good job capturing the spirit of Star Trek with this game. The graphics are bright and colorful. The in-game sprites will kind of remind you a bit of if you remember the Star Trek animated series, it'll remind you of that to a degree. Again, and the gameplay probably feels the way it does because Interplay typically did PC games at that point. They didn't do a lot of console stuff, and the stuff that they did do that was ported to consoles tended to feel like it was pulled directly from a PC game and just shoehorned into a cartridge for console use. And that feel is definitely with this game. So I honestly can't recommend this game to anyone who isn't a big fan of Star Trek. So if you're not a Trekkie and you're not into the original Star Trek series, you might not be the person for this title. If you are, though, you should totally pick it up because there's definitely a good little bit of fan service here for Star Trek fans. This has been the 8-Bit Animal. I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.